Yeah, I knew it was running out. I gotta back around. Back up, back up, back up. It's a Red Wings Bic that I found in the parking lot. How are you gonna return something like that when everybody's a Red Wings fan? Anybody would just say, yeah, that was mine. I wait to see if somebody says they lost it. Poor old Donald Twump Jr. I can say twump without saying a demon just got its wings. And it makes sense because poor Donald Twump Jr. I remember hearing somewhere in the late 90s that an eighth of weed was like a twump, a 20 bag, a twump. There it is. And in that book that Michael Cohen wrote, he talks about how Donald Twump Jr. was somewhere working as a bartender. He was just trying to live his own life. And his dad came in and he said, if you don't get in line, you're gonna be out of the inheritance. And I was like, It's a threat. It's real. He may have only been working as a bartender knowing that he was gonna be okay when it was all said and done because of his inheritance. But we have to remember. That's how we made a president once. George W. Bush Jr., that Kitty whatever her name book. I read it. The Bush Dynasty, it's like that thick. And it mentions in there how George W. Bush's father came to him and said, if you don't stop doing those drugs and being a fucking maniac, I'm gonna cut you out. But if you do stop doing those drugs and being a maniac, I'm gonna make you president of the United States. And he became president of the United States. Too bad, really. Look at Donald Twump Jr. and George W. Bush. And think about the difference, the possibility, the future Donald Twump Jr. still has the possibility of being happy in a life of drugs. You look at George W. Bush after he gave it up for the presidency, he's still walking around like a fucking moron. Huh? Who, me? I would have to look back, but I'm sure that Mad Magazine must have had George W. Bush on the cover at some point. Maybe the one magazine that Alfred E. Newman wasn't on. Why would you need Alfred E. Newman, this made-up character that defines us all, when you've got the guy that is defining it? America. He looks just so moronic anymore. He's always just looked moronic since he quit his drugs. He was probably a fun time to be around when he was on drugs. But then he quit the drugs to become president, and he's just nothing but a puppet, a guy that says things. There's no fun in being with a puppet. If you want to be with a puppet, wake up in the hospital, escape your cage, and find the puppets in the closet and have them catch you talking to yourself. Do you want to be a puppet?